if they don't see that it's there, they're not going to know how much they need it, right?
So our event will be all about being in the trenches with you.
Are we naming names? Are we naming people who are there?
Yeah, we can name some names.
You have a digital handshake, and your digital handshake matters today. Welcome back to the Growth Over Comfort podcast. I am your co-host, Randy Anderson, joined once again by the awesome Coach Steve Miller. How you doing today?
Ready to go.
It's Monday, feeling the fuel, ready to just jump on it and
ready to move.
Make all the deals, make all the business moves, right?
That's right.
Yeah, that's kind of how I feel. I feel kind of invigorated by the weekend. I felt a little slow, a little sluggish, and then things kind of picked up and I'm ready. Like, I'm excited. I'm excited for possibilities. I'm excited for this and that, and I'm excited just to chat. So let's why don't we catch up? How are you?
I'm doing okay. Workout stuff's going good. 75 hard is going well. We're moving through that. We're moving into some real growth opportunities. Some opportunities, not the right word. Some real growth challenges. Because there's, we have an event coming up, and, I've never put on an event that size and with that level of personnel at the event. So those kind of things are challenging when you move into new water.
Yeah, definitely. It's going to be an awesome event. And we're going to... Actually, one of the other things we're doing today, right? Just being transparent, we're going to work more on promoting that, and
we are
trying to figure out best ways to promote it and get people to. Because I think people, if they don't see that it's there, they're not going to know how much they need it, right?
Right.
And that's the thing is, like, you could have the best product in the world, and if no one ever knows that you exist, and they don't know that they need that best product, then they're not going to buy it ever.
Right. And one of the things that you see now is, everybody seems to have the same model in approaching how to promote an event. It's almost the same look on graphics. It's almost the same look on videos.
Yeah.
And you have these high-level, quote, gurus, these superstars in the coaching business that are coming together and putting on an event, and their price point's so cheap.
Yeah.
But then you get there and they're making a $30,000, $40,000 offer at the event, which there's nothing wrong with that. Yeah. There's tremendous value in that offer, or they wouldn't make it. Those guys have integrity. They know they can help. But I think a lot of people look at those type things and go, why are they at this point, and this other event's at this point, and this event's at this point? They all look the same. What separates?
Yeah. So the question then is, what's going to separate our event?
Well, there's a couple of things. Number one, it's at the Greatness Factory in Nashville, which is an activator within itself, and I'll let you talk about that in just a second. But the other piece of it, the presenters that are there have all actually done what they're going to be talking to you about, which is they've got knocked down, they've seen people get knocked down, they've helped people get back up and grow and get over whatever obstacle they're in to move forward. What I want to do, what my whole coaching business is going to be about is, people have a starting point, and then they have a dream, they have a goal, and then out there in the middle of that is this big dash or this big divide, and a lot of people talk to you about where you are and how to move over there, but nobody actually gets in that trench with you and actually works. So our event will be all about being in the trenches with you, helping you actually grow through and get started on that growth curve in the right way to keep you moving forward.
Yeah, I think that's great. The Greatness Factory is an amazing place. You can't stand inside of it, and you can't be downtown Nashville and not feel activated to be able to do bigger things than what you thought.
Right.
And I guess if you come from like New York City, maybe you're a little jaded by all the buildings, and then you come to Nashville and you're like, okay, this is not as big as where I'm from or whatever. But even then, you're going to be in the room with people who are the top of all these different companies that are making all these different plays at such high level.
Right.
And, you can... Are we naming names? Are we naming people who are there?
Yeah, we can name some names.
You're looking over at Kevin Elko, who has been tremendously successful with all these different huge teams I mean, real winners. How many?
I think he's at 36, possibly 39 at this point. Either national championships or world championships.
Yeah.
With teams and athletes that he's been involved with and coached through. And he's going to be talking about the language of winning. And I don't know about anybody else that listens to this podcast, but I know this on my part. Just understanding what I need to say to Steve Miller when things get tough so that I can be a winner through the situation that I'm in is a huge deal. Because he kind of background, before I knew anything about him, he had already been with teams, NFL teams and different organizations that have won, world championships.
Yeah.
But then he shows up at the University of Alabama when Nick Saban shows up at the University of Alabama to develop the standards. So he and Nick Saban developed the standards and the process that the University of Alabama uses and used to win the national championships that they won and became quite possibly the greatest college football team within that stretch of any era at any time, and left Coach Saban as, quote, the best of all time.
Yeah.
To do that. But so they set those standards, but they also set the language that the program used all the way through. And he was with them all the way through that process.
That's crazy.
So when you talk about the process, so if you're an individual and you don't know what process to use for your life to be a champion, to be a winner, Kevin Elko can set you on that path.
Yeah.
If you're looking at your organization, your business, and you're trying to figure out, hey, what do we need to do? What language? How do we need to talk to each other? What do we need to say? How do we need to carry ourselves? What standards does our company need to have? That's what you'll learn when Kevin Elko speaks.
Yeah.
It's a pretty big deal.
Oh yeah, for sure. And of course, Coach Michael Burt is going to be in there as well, and he's going to be talking a ton about the Pray Drive and just how to activate that, which we kind of talked about activators a second ago. But I'm excited to hear him talk again. I've really enjoyed. From the moment I met him and we did our interview with him, even then I've seen him a lot on social media and connected in some ways there, and I've just enjoyed everything he said. He's always someone that, no matter your status when you came into contact with him, I feel like after you come out of contact with him, you're elevated, you're better. Yeah,
you're better. No doubt.
In multiple ways. Some of them, obviously, like you just feel better, but also just you're literally, and I hate to say the word again, but your drive is higher. Like you, because he's the type of person that, there's the type of person that when you rub elbows with him or something, when you come into contact with him or something, you can't help but feel elevated and, just like more possibility. One reason I love where my studio is I have that opportunity at a coffee shop nearby. Coffee from Karma, not sponsored, but we should be.
Yeah, we should.
We need to talk, Katie and Jacob. I literally love, I love working here in the studio, but I love working downstairs because I run into the big players in this city, and just also friends in this city, and they come in and out. I've developed friendships with people down there. I've actually found employees from there that I work with now.
Some great ones.
Yep. I'm not trying to say I stole them. I didn't. They came to me. But anyway, it's kind of a sore subject. But even the big players, we just had a conversation with a guy downstairs building. He just sold a company. He's building another company now, and he is one of, if not the largest players in the city, for sure, if not in the state.
He's the most influential man in country music right now.
Yeah. So
that's
only going to grow.
Take it for what it is.
That's only going to grow.
It's only going to grow. It's going to continue to grow.
So anyway,
but when you're talking Michael Burt, he has a unique way of transferring energy.
Yeah.
So he comes with a lot of energy. He's packaged different, but he can transfer that to you, and it's an activator just within being in a room with him. And there's a lot of people that watch him online. There's a lot of people that see videos. A lot of people, take in his content, but it's completely different being in a room. And you're talking about being in a room where there's going to be max 100 people. Yeah. Probably talking more 75.
Very intimate.
A very intimate room just with those two people is a big deal. Randy Anderson's going to be speaking. I don't know if you've heard that, but I think we discredit who we are sometimes.
Yeah.
And I'll say it, you have over 2 billion views from content that you produced online.
Yeah.
For your clients. You may have seen a thing or two
Just a little bit.
in the social media space.
I've started working on everything that I'm talking about. And one of my lines is after I say that number, I say that means that I know video, I know social media, and I've seen a ton of cat videos online.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it's like, because that's just what happens. When you get in the YouTube world, you end up watching a lot of cat videos as well. But hey, listen, if you need to come about your social media, I can handle that. If you need to talk about how to make a video, that'd be great. If your cat has a problem, I probably actually can't help you. But I'll tell you if it's cute or not, you know?
You will say that cat will sell on YouTube.
There you go. That's my angle.
You can do that.
Yeah, for sure.
But that content is so valuable today.
Yeah.
You know, we're talking about, you know, we're rolling out a course called Pod Coach. And, you know, the Pod Coach course is just everything podcast, how to set one up, how to get started, how to get guests that matter, how to maintain content along the way. All of those things come into play, and people all over the planet want to start a podcast.
Yeah, they do.
They have no idea where to begin or what to do, and we're about to roll that out so people can understand that, and that's because of you and your expertise. So that's really cool.
I'm excited about that as well. I was actually doing some number crunching because I was starting to look at reaching out for maybe a few new clients.
Yeah.
And it's always fun to have those numbers, you know, that you have. And I was looking at podcast numbers. And so the 3 of the main podcasts I help make now, we just passed about 1.2 million downloads this year.
Wow.
And I mean, they actually all together have more than that, but those are the ones that, like, me and my team, we touched that video and put it out.
Right.
The others, because the others came through halfway, like 2 of them. So like they obviously have more to them than just that. But you know, it's funny too, because like when you talk about numbers with video and podcast, they don't translate correctly like the numbers. Like 1.2 million on a podcast. If you have that much in a podcast, you're a top 1%. You know,
100%.
And when you have 1.2 million on YouTube, you're like, oh, I mean, that's cool. You must have had 1 or 2 viral videos.
Right.
You know, so it's a little different. But yeah, I'm excited to chat with everyone. I'm excited to give them like my insights into branding and social media and being able to tell people why they should pay attention to it, why they should, you know, put effort into it. And here's a little snippet that I'll say, and then I'll move on. But a lot of people, when they meet someone for the first time, like when these people come into the room to meet Michael Burt, Kathleen Elko, all these other people, they're going to dress nicely. They're going to do their hair. They're going to make sure that if they shave, then they're clean shaven. If they have a beard, they're going to be tidied up. First appearances, first impressions are huge in the business world.
Yeah.
And so when they walk up and shake hands, they're going to give that firm handshake, look them in the eye. Nice to meet you, sir. All those things. But what if I told you that there were thousands of people meeting you every day and you had no control over how you looked currently?
Yeah.
Because you don't. And the reason for that is because you're posting a picture of your grandkids, or you're posting a meal you ate on Instagram, or you're just posting a selfie of you at the beach. That's fine, but you need to realize that you have a digital handshake that you're making. And your digital handshake matters today. And so that's why we need to look at Instagram, and we need to say, what do people find when they come to your Instagram? Do they just see this guy who, like, maybe he's doing something? Or do they see someone and they go, wow, this guy, he's on it. He's doing stuff, and I want to follow and be a part of it. And that's how you start generating leads. And we can get more into that later, but that's just a little snippet of something I've got working on with my talk. But I'm also excited to hear Coach Steve Miller.
Yeah, we're working toward something really cool in the coaching space. I've started coaching some people, and the big thing is setting standards and getting your standards set correctly.
Yeah.
I see so many people fall, and the thing that I've come to realize is that the storm's coming. You're either going to go into a storm, or you're coming out of a storm, or success is coming.
Yeah.
And both of those things, if you don't have the right standards, the right foundation set, you'll crumble when you hit both of those, when you encounter either one of those,
Yeah.
you're going to crumble.
Right,
And then
right.
it's about your time, habits, and attitudes.
Yeah.
And what you do with that. And I've intentionally put together my conference where I will be the weakest speaker there.
I thought I was going to be the weakest.
Oh, no. You have real content. you're coming with value. But the guys that are going to be there, and Jana Creel's going to be there, are phenomenal.
Yeah.
Like, they're going to bring so much value, and they're so good in front of a room.
Yeah.
It's just really going to be a unique deal. But what I want people to get from what I have to say is that you don't have to fall. You don't have to.
Mm-hmm.
If you'll get your standards in the right place and you align your habits, time, and attitude the right way with those standards,
Yeah.
you may still crash a little bit. That storm may still come. Success may come in a way, and it may cause some issues for you for a minute, but you won't crumble.
Right.
And there's a whole difference between having some damage and repairing the damage and crumbling completely.
Yeah.
There's a difference in your car hitting a wall at 100 miles an hour or just brushing up against another car.
Yeah. Yeah. 100%.
And it's a different mindset.
Yeah. There's a saying, and I'm butchering most of it, I'm sure, but it's something like a fool makes a mistake and never learns from it.
Yeah.
A smart man makes a mistake and learns from it. A wise man sees someone else make a mistake and learns from it.
Yeah.
And I think that going back to kind of Coach Michael Burt's saying is everybody needs a coach.
Everybody needs a coach.
I would love to actually give a quick testimonial and say that I've loved working with you because you've given me so much value. And I know that there's other people out there who need that same value. It was about, what was it, like maybe 2 weeks ago or something? You and I had that chat in Karma.
Yeah.
And I was just overloaded and stressed, and I didn't know what was going on with life. And I was just like, this is just so much. And you said to me, you have a team that can help you do these things, right? And I said, yeah. And you said, well, why are you not trusting them with it? And I said, I don't know. I just don't think I've fully equipped them to do it yet. And you said, well, what's the worst case in case they get something wrong? And I gave a few examples of the worst case. I said the worst case would be we lose the client. But then the other one was, it would just be wrong and we have to fix it. And you were like, and how would that make you feel if that happened? I'd be like, I don't know, we just would fix it. But what if it worked? I said, I'd feel great. So because of your words, I trusted my team with more responsibility than I ever have. Because before they've just done one or two things for me in the creation of content. And now I'm letting them do 4 or 5 things that I didn't know they were capable of. And it's not that I didn't trust them, because they're going to see this later. I did trust you guys, and I know you're capable of a lot. But I also didn't want to put that burden on them.
Yeah.
But they told me later, they saw me drowning. They saw how hard it was. They saw those issues. And now when those things come up again, I'm like, can you guys do this? Can you take it? And they're like, yeah, of course, sure. And they're flourishing in the things that dragged me down, because it was like me getting into the nitty gritty stuff, that like the small fine details that take up a lot of time and energy. And it doesn't allow me to focus on the bigger picture things like acquiring new clients, making sales, running leads and stuff, and keeping the boat running, And anyway, back to you. I just wanted to say thank you for that, because it changed everything. Like, if that had not happened, I'm going to be honest, I was a bit burnt out at the time, and I actually have seen fallout from that, and I'm trying to recover, and I think I'm on the track now. But if not, I would have crashed, and I don't know, it would have been really bad.
Just flamed out.
Yeah, exactly.
And you would have crumbled.
Yeah, exactly. Thank you.
And one of the things in that, and I think a lot of people miss this, one of the things is that it's not that you don't trust your team, you don't trust yourself.
Ooh.
You don't trust yourself to lead the right way, because you're not doing the things that you need to do on your side.
Yeah. So
it's back to the standard. It's back to what you're going to walk in and what you bring. And I used to say this all the time, coaching. Your job as a coach is to coach those players and prepare them the best way that you possibly can so they can be successful. I'll go one step further. Nobody comes to see the coach play.
Yeah,
they come to see the players play.
Yeah.
If Nick Saban and his staff suited up and decided they were going to play against Georgia, it would be the most unfortunate thing that's ever happened in football.
Some people I would watch it just to see what happened, but it would be a train wreck.
It would be a train wreck. It would be awful. But what they do is prepare those guys to be their best possible selves in the moment. And if you watch those games, the coaches are intense and they have intense conversations with the players because they're trying to accomplish something big.
Yeah.
The player's not upset or mad at the coach at that point, not on that level, because they know they're trying to win. They're all in it together trying to win. I think many times people don't trust themselves to coach and lead because they haven't put the time in on the backside to establish the right standards. Yeah. Not that you haven't done that.
No, I know.
But there are some areas where you haven't done that.
Yeah. Oh, for sure.
I mean, there's some things, and working on that and growing in that. And we've talked about a number that you want to get to within the next 2 years, and you want a house at Seaside, Florida.
Yeah.
So
it's got to be a high number.
That number's got to be bigger than it is right now.
Yeah.
That means you've got to be bigger than you are right now.
Yeah.
And
it goes back to me.
That's a complete shift. You know, I don't know everything about all the things, but I promise you that if people will show up and not buy into coaching, because it's both sides, but if people will show up and go, I want to get here, how can you help me get here? And then you actually do what I ask you to do,
yeah,
your odds of getting there 1,000% better.
Yeah. Yeah. 100%.
And you're more peaceful and you're more calm. That's why you need to show up at our event.
100%.
I mean, number one, you need to activate.
Yeah.
You know, I was talking to a guy the other day, and he's like, I feel like every time, he said a football analogy, he said, I feel like I'm on the 50-yard line, and every time I make any progress at all, I just fumble the ball and I'm back on the 50-yard line.
Yeah.
He said, I need everything you're talking about.
Yep.
I'm going to buy a ticket.
Buy a ticket.
Show up.
Yeah. And the thing too is like, people look at a ticket price and all that, but here's the thing. You're going to learn things. You're going to make connections. And if this equipment, just knocked things around. This equipment that I just bumped into, someone could come in this studio. I don't want them to, but they could take it and they could leave with it. And I've put a lot of money into this, thousands of dollars. But if I put thousands of dollars into my mind, into my body, making myself better, no one can take that from me. You know, you can't actually steal that knowledge from me. You can't steal that experience from me. So I always mention his name in every single episode. Hormozy says that his dad taught him that lesson, is that the only thing that cannot be stolen from you is making yourself better, is improving your skills, improving your knowledge, learning from experience, all these things. And so if you were to say like, oh, I don't want to do that because the ticket costs this much, or I don't know if I can afford that or something like that, I would be willing to say if you have a business and you're running your business, you can't afford not to.
Right.
Because it's going to make you better. It's going to get you connected to people that are in a different realm than you are. Or maybe you're at the same level they are, but you just don't know about each other. You're going to get connected to all these people, and not even just the speakers, but the other people that are going to be there. Right. So in my mind, it's like that's money that no one is going to be able to steal from you. And it's actually going to provide more, because the cost of the ticket, if you take any of these players, well, maybe besides me, and you were to ask them for an hour of their time, they would charge you, they'd probably charge you more for an hour or a couple of hours of their time. You know what I mean?
Coach Burt's $40,000 an hour.
Yeah.
He's going to speak for 45 minutes on Prey Drive.
Yeah.
You're going to be in a room. Just that alone, the value in him alone is, I don't know what that is. Not great at math. Do 10 times. It's 100 times more. You're over 100 times more what it would cost just to be in a room in a setting. Yeah. And I will give you mine. I've invested quite a bit of money. My CPA didn't tell me that yesterday. If you haven't caught up, my wife is a CPA. We've been married 32 years this Wednesday, so we're going to make it. But she didn't tell me that yesterday. All of those numbers were on paper yesterday, so I know exactly the amount of money that I've invested in me and personal growth this year.
Yeah.
It's more than that.
Yeah.
It's significant.
Yeah.
But what's happened for me is I've lost 30 pounds. I've written a book. I'm now a co-host of a podcast. I've started a coaching company. where I'll be coaching CEOs and C-suite executives, and I'm already doing that. I'm hosting a major event that includes Michael Burt, Kevin Elko, and the rest of the names are phenomenal. We just added another one yesterday. I'll tell you about that after we get done.
Fun.
But it's great. None of those things happen without coaching.
Yeah.
None of those things happen if I don't choose to show up. But what I was going to say is the people that I've met in the room are like unbelievable human beings, but they also have great skill sets.
Yeah.
So all of the stuff that I'm dealing with and going through, I now have somebody to call and pick up the phone and go, hey, I need these graphics and I need them by Tuesday. And Todd Harris goes, okay, I'll get them to you by Tuesday. Thank you.
Yeah.
It'll be X, which was cheap.
Yeah.
In comparison to the value that added for me. Mm-hmm. You know, I have an assessment that was made by CJ Music that's like a major assessment on assessing just where you are in your life. Yeah. And just phenomenal people like that. All kinds. I have business brokers. Like I've met guys that buy and sell businesses for a living. Yeah. So when I move into that, I'll know the right guys to call. Yeah. All because I was in a room. And then the other thing, you never know when you get the one idea. That one idea changes everything. Right. The next thing you know, you're moving in a direction you never thought you would move, and your life's completely different.
Exactly. So if you decided to buy a ticket and you're like, that's money, I don't know, blah, 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 whatever. But then you go to the event, it changes your life. You meet these new people, your business gets elevated. Even if you don't have a business, even if you are a salesperson, or even if you are I think the new term is intrapreneur, which is you're someone who works for someone else, but you have that entrepreneurial drive to make their business better. Some people like that. Yeah. It's going to give you skills to talk about how you can move up in that company. It's going to talk about if you wanted to start a business, you'll be inspired on ways to do it. Yeah. So imagine you went to one event and it changed your life completely. What would you put a price on that for? Like how? I mean,
there's not a price tag for that. Yeah. What if it saves your marriage?
Yeah, that's true.
What if you're going down a road that you don't need to be going down, and one thing in a conference changes how you approach your whole family dynamic? Yeah. Yeah. What's that worth? What's your family worth?
Yeah, exactly.
I don't know.
I think I may have shared this before, but I did one freelance website for someone, and I'd done some free ones up until that point, but this one was my first paid one. Mm-hmm. And I think it was either $600 or $800. I don't remember, but that was how much I got paid to do this like really nice website. And the designer did a great job on it. It's awesome. And I coded it, made it well. Anyway, that one website, that one connection, which I agreed to do, led to, and I'm not exaggerating here, but just all my other, that was, 12 years ago. Since then, it's that one little connection has generated over millions of dollars, to make, and now that's my salary. That's how much I've been paid through everything else. One connection, one thing. And now it's easy to also say, well, it wasn't just that one, but that's where it started, That's the first chop of the axe on the tree.
Yeah, it's the first swing.
Yeah.
And Coach Burt sometimes you just get a seat at a bigger table. Yeah. Sometimes you realize, okay, this is different. Yep. I can go sit right here. Yeah. What happens if I sit down right there? Mm-hmm. Yeah. Your whole world might change.
Yeah. So final thoughts about the event. Excited?
I am excited. Yeah. It's a journey. We've currently sold one VIP ticket and 3 regular tickets.
Nice. Nice. There's room, is what you're saying.
There's room. There's places for people to go and sign up. And be a part. And you'll find it. We're going to post it. It'll be everywhere. Yeah. This is one I would go to even if I were not putting it on. Right. And there's a lot of them that I would like to go to, but the expense of it's too high, or it just doesn't fit what I'm trying to do. This is one, regardless of where you are, that you can be in the room and it can make an impact. It can change some things in your life. Yeah. Definitely. And if it doesn't, you're like, that's the biggest waste of money I've ever had. You're just not the right person. Right. You need to go somewhere else and become a better human. I'm not giving you your money back. I know the value we're about to bring, and it's way more than the tickets you're about to buy.
For sure. Well, it's also just that you don't have these people in one room and them not provide you some sort of value.
No, I have no idea. It's a God thing that these people are going to be in the room.
Yeah.
There's no reason for this group of people to assemble in one place. Yeah. I don't think it'll ever be like this again.
Yeah.
So it's kind of unique.
Yeah. So if you're watching and you would like to find out more information, get a ticket, and see us in Nashville, then make sure you check out the links down in the description, and we'll have all that listed for you. And we'll see you in Nashville. Right?
Y'all have a good one.
Yeah. Thank you guys. Choose growth. Don't choose comfort. Unless you then later choose growth. You know what I mean. All right,
Just
bye.
don't be comfortable.
Don't get comfortable. Too comfortable. Bye.